What's up, gamers? It's Above, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a review on the Secant Filaments. This is a brand new exotic boot that was introduced for the Warlocks with Witch Queen. These exotic boots can be acquired from the Legendary campaign. You get to pick between the two exotics for each character. You guys have the option to choose the exotic that you want to go with for this DLC. So in this case, I went with the boots because I thought they would be insane, and they are. So the intrinsic perk for these is Devouring Rift, where casting an Empowering Rift will grant you Devour, and damage dealt by you and your allies from within your Empowering Rift will disrupt combatants. You basically get Intrinsic Overload with any weapon that you're running. You don't need to run an artifact mod to stun champions, which is great because at the time of this video being released is actually bugged with Overload Auto and SMG. So you get that by default as long as you're inside of your rift. Now the cool thing about this is that the Devour, the procs, you do not only get Devour when inside of your rift, it also procs outside of it, and you can actually pair it with additional aspects and fragments to enhance the duration of your Devour, granting you all the way up to 20 seconds, which is pretty insane. Now the cool thing about these boots is that actually granting you Devour does not rely on you being within your rift, so you can pass through your rift, and you can also give your teammates who are also running these boots Devour. If you have multiple people in a fire team running this exotic, you can give each other Devour and just use that to proc it over and over and over again. And you don't have to be inside of your rift, as I mentioned before, for this to benefit you, so you can just throw down your Empowering Rift. You need to stay in there if you want to overload any champions, but once you're outside of the rift, Devour will continue to tick down as normal and can be reprocced and extended similar to how Devour worked pre-Witch Queen. So the cool thing about this is that you actually don't need to run the Feed the Void aspect, which gives you the ability to activate Devour when defeating a target. This actually saves you, allowing you to run these two aspects. One, Child of the Old Gods, where casting your Rift creates a Void Soul that targets enemies you're shooting, which is super, super powerful. When a target is being drained, you are granted Grenade and Melee Energy, which is fantastic. And I pair this with Chaos Accelerant, and this is great because not only does it increase the size and linger duration of my Vortex Grenade, I also get a portion of it back from Child of the Old Gods when I'm throwing down my Rift, which I'm doing constantly with these boots. So the synergy is great. Now the cool thing about Devour is that you can actually extend the duration of this buff with the Fragment Echo of Persistence, which allows you to get upwards of 20 seconds each time you proc Devour. So when you're going through an activity, you have to think about the fact that you're killing enemies at a pretty consistent rate. 20 seconds plus is a very forgiving amount of time, so you'll pretty much have this up at all times. You don't really need to spec into the Devour aspect itself, which means you can run these boots and take advantage of things like Child of the Old Gods and Chaos Accelerant, as I mentioned before. All right, so we're going to throw down this Rift here. And you'll see that we start the Devour timer at 11 seconds, which is pretty standard. And each time, even when I'm outside of my Rift, it's just re-procking that Devour timer. Because with Child of the Old Gods, the cool thing about these boots and why it synergizes so well is that Child of the Old Gods actually refunds a portion of your Rift and all of your abilities each time you get a kill. And if you run this with something like Utility Kickstart, you get a few kills and you're already most of the way back to your Rift, which is super, super cool. There hasn't been a single situation where I've used my Rift and then not had it available to me whenever I go to engage the next group of ads. Now you can see I'm on stasis. I still have the boots on. And when I throw down my Rift, I have Overload Shot and Empowering Rift, but Devour does not proc. So I knew someone in the comment section would ask about this. So no, it does not proc Devour on non-void-based subclasses. Just to answer that and get that out of the way. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this exotic review and found it helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!